I'm so privileged to have a wonderful HR leader joining me on the show today. I'm talking about Dr. C. Jaya Kumar, CHRO of L&T.
No, repeatedly what I heard from my father right from beginning is whichever field
Okay.
you have to be the best.
Isn't there a temptation to keep advising your own children?
Continuous education is a must. I don't think myself as very intelligent and all, but I compensate it by extra hours of effort.
I think anyone who works with you closely can notice all these principles very much in practice. How did HRD become a, such a DNA of L&T?
The term HRD, Human
Yeah.
Resource Department, was first in L&T in the whole
Yes.
of country.
Okay,
Maybe
so
I would have lost the position of a CHRO.
oh, no.
One and only thing which will differentiate an organization and a sustained growth will be the quality of the talent and the engagement of the talent and how you take care of the talent.
A CHRO sitting at that level in the organization, how do you actually figure out your priorities?
How do you enhance the productivity of your employees? How do they fix their goals? How do they make it measurable? How do they give feedback and etc. in terms of performance?
Hello and welcome to this episode of HR Footprints podcast series. This episode is very special. One, because I'm playing the host and not the speaker. But of course, more importantly, I'm so privileged to have a wonderful HR leader joining me on the show today. If you Google his name on the web or you check out on the LinkedIn page, you will understand how well known this leader is and how diverse his contributions have been in the HR field. I mean, we all can actually see it. I'm talking about Dr. C. Jay Kumar, CHRO of L&T. I'm so happy to welcome him onto the stage.
Thank you,
So
Raj.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time and joining me on the show.
Thank you, Dr. Raj, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Sure, sir. So I think many people heard you, seen you in various forums, but I want to keep this discussion a little more personal because I'm a little greedy to understand and learn from you a few insights as a person, as an HR champion, and also as a leader in business. So I'm sure I think there is so much to learn from your experiences and those small anecdotes. So I would like to keep that more on that track with your permission.
Sure.
So we all heard, sir, that you have fantastic academic track record, multiple master's degrees, and you got LLB. You got a PhD from University of Madras. You are an alumni of London Business School. And I remember, I think you also attended senior management programs at Harvard and NTL, so on and so forth. You've been a continuous learner. But my question to begin with is, how did it all start? How did you actually step into HR, sir? How did you choose this career path?
It was not well thought of that I have to get into HR. After my graduation, Madras, I was staying in Chennai, which is in EGMO, and Madras School of Social Work was just a kilometer, not even a kilometer, half a kilometer away. And during 80s and 85s, Madras School of Social Work was a big name. Big name
Yes.
means if you visit the college that time, you would have never seen a green color board, blackboard. We have only seen
Okay.
blackboard. At the
Okay.
time, it
Oh,
is that
yeah.
green
Okay.
color board,
Right.
and they
Right.
have their OHP and thing for teaching,
Okay.
including the classrooms and the quality of education and the level was very high. So it was a big ambition to study in such a place.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that was the only pull. And we find people in cars and bikes there. It's not like an ordinary, it was a very high end thing.
Okay.
The
Okay.
other option was I wanted to get into law.
Okay.
because my father was an LLB, and he had an interest in law, that after his retirement he wanted to practice and all those things. Somewhere or
Okay.
other I was interested in law. So this was
Okay.
the two option available. Out of that, I got immediately the admission in Madras School of Social Work.
Beautiful.
So I
Beautiful.
joined there, and then as soon as I completed, I got into
Okay.
a
Okay.
company called Samarpan Fabricators Limited, and immediately moved to L&T. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So that institution, the stature, the
yeah,
layout, all that attracted
yeah.
you and pulled
Yes,
you into that.
yes, yes,
And since you mentioned about your dad, sir, did he not influence you to come into his track and possibly become his successor in the law profession anytime?
no, the repeatedly what I heard from my father right from beginning is, whichever field
Okay.
you have to be the best.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so he was not particular about yoga to enter into this field, that field. He used to tell, whatever field you enter, you should be the best. There
Beautiful.
is nothing below that. So that is the only
Amazing.
motivation there from me, from the advice from my father's side. So he left it to
Amazing.
our choice.
Amazing.
Yeah,
No, no force at all.
no
He
force.
never forced you at all.
No, no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
So, as a parent, sir, do you give advice because you're also into HR with so much of vast experience? Isn't there a temptation to keep advising your own children?
We tend to, but most of the time it lands as a discussion than an advice.
Okay.
Only
Okay.
ask a probing questions to ask them to make them reflect, and then look upon, and then if any changes to be done, that is
Okay.
being done. So we don't get into an advice mode at all. So more of a discussion, more of an open-ended questions, allowing
Okay.
them to reflect into it. Try to put all my coaching skills inside to see that it
I
is
was,
perfect.
I was about to say that the parent as a coach.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
lovely,
that is
lovely,
right.
lovely, wonderful. So now that we are talking about parenting, maybe a little extended question. Uh, if you were to recall, what are the three or four key values or principles that you imbibed from your parents and which you cherish and value them even today?
See, to give a brief background, I am the only person, even today, other than my son, in a private sector.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Otherwise, all my father, as well as all my relatives, whether it's uncle or aunt, all are government servants.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
My father was the deputy secretary to the government in Tamil Nadu Secretariat. If you look at my mother's side, both my uh, brothers of my mother was a
okay,
joint secretary in the Secretariat of Government of Kerala, and one of his brother was again a garrison engineer and all that, MES, Military Engineering Service. Father
okay,
said all are either professors or even the principal of some of the Qaid Millat College in Chennai and all those things. But only thing is, even at that stage in 1960s, all were graduates and educated. So educated and from a government
okay,
service part of it. That is
okay,
the background. I was the only person who slightly moved from a government setup to a went into HR and moved into Rasan and Tubro and grown in this
yeah, yeah,
setup. So certain things is very clear. As one is continuous education is a must. So you have to be, if you have to be above the others, it is only through education. You do not have anything else with us. That is
correct,
one. Second is hard work. Hard work and persistence is very, very important. Um, if others can, I don't think myself as very, very intelligent and all, but I compensate it by extra hours of effort, or putting too effort to see that I am among the best. So continuous hard work, persistence, and if you aim certain things, focus on that. Not get into too many things at one time. Take one particular thing, focus on that, complete it, and then move to the next. That has been my thing. So continuous learning,
yes.
hard work, persistence, and focus.
Amazing, amazing. I think anyone who works with you closely can notice all these principles very much in practice. I mean,
Yeah,
now that you spelt it out, I can relate
yeah,
it. But
yeah,
even otherwise, possibly I would have said the same thing.
yeah.
You're such an amazing, continuous learner. Sometimes I wonder at your stature, working hard, reading one more, and attending one more program, practicing coaching sessions. And this is enormous spirit of continuous learning. I think that's one principle. I think anyone who wants to aspire to grow and grow as a person, as a professional,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
should possibly imbibe. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So if you turn your attention a little more towards your organization, that is Larsen& Toubro, what a wonderful organization, sir. So much of capabilities and continuously upgrading the capabilities and greatly committed people. The organization is full of so many committed people. And the amazing thing is contribution to nation building. So many national monuments are constructed by L&T, contributed by that, and of course so many beautiful HRD practices. So that is the kind of organization, the way I think I visualize from outside. um, Now my question to you, sir, is how did HRD become a, such a DNA of L&T? It seems to be a part of that organization.
Sir, I don't know whether I have discussed with you earlier. The term HRD, Human
Yeah.
Resource Department, was first in L&T, in the whole
Yes.
of country.
Yeah.
So that is where it started. Okay, in 1975, Mr. T.V. Rao and Uday Parekh was
Exactly.
invited when he was with IIM Ahmedabad to do a small project on our performance appraisal system. That
Correct.
is where they designed the pads, and then from there they introduced the concept of HRD, human resource development. Otherwise, it was a personal and IR and personal
Yeah.
management, right? So that is how it started. So it is from the DNA of the organization right from beginning. And more than that, if you see the founders was when they started Huck Larsen, that's a statement. Buildings may be there, machinery may be there, but it's nothing without people. People are the prime movers. It's a statement which is made some 40 years back by the founder, one of the founders, which is still there in many of the being quoted everywhere. So mostly it's a people-oriented organization. Today, our entire strength is people. The
Mm-hmm.
at different levels, and each we focus mainly at the grassroots level. Look at graduate trainees from various institutes, develop them, put them through various programs, and that is how they have grown. Right from most of our directors are people who have joined us. Even our CEO, MD, chairman, and managing director again joined as a trainee, and he has
Exactly.
moved on. So that is where
Exactly.
the focus is on HR right from beginning, and most of the concepts in HR have been introduced in L&T. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, when I'm hearing this directly from you, I am recalling with a sweet regret, because at the beginning of my career, after I finished my masters, I applied for a few positions, and I did actually get an interview call as a management trainee in the L&T ECC division. And also at the same time, I also received a call from IIM Ahmedabad as a faculty associate. So
Okay.
between these two, it was conflicting. So I went to IIM Ahmedabad and I got selected and I happened to join there. But now when I keep hearing so much about L&T, had I joined as a management trainee, I would have been part of your team by now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But the interesting thing, sir,
Maybe
is
I would have lost the position of a CHRO.
oh, no. No, I would have been very, very wonderful to work with you
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So one is the visionaries who built such a organization from great foundations. The way you mentioned, buildings and machinery might be there, but it is actually people who bring the soul into the whole thing. But my related question is many organizations struggle to sustain these initiatives. One visionary, one great leader, they actually think and they start. But what wonderful thing that I notice in L&T is the way you're able to sustain several initiatives over the years. How is it possible, sir? How do you make it happen? I'm sure there's a great learning for many organizations to learn from you.
Yeah, but it is one of these systems process which is available in the organization, which is highly driven by systems and processes and the people. And in fact, to be just thinking on the feet, we had an OD initiative
Hmm.
by a professor called Somnath Chatterjee. He's a
Right, right.
very renowned person
Correct.
who was with IIM and then XLRI and he was with ISAPS and all. So one that was the he is no more. Some 5 years or
Yes.
6 years back he
Yeah.
expired. So 27 years we were having a OD initiative under Mr. Somnath Chatterjee. That is
Mm.
the top leaders of each of the division. We go for an outbound discuss. It's a totally different experience, like a lab, and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
bring in a culture of octopus, openness, caring, trust, transparency, etc. And that precluded that. So always people were put in the front, and certain very clear value systems of honesty, integrity, customer, innovation, creativity. This is continuously driven. So every time I have seen most of the leaders whom I have worked with, or yes, definitely there's a task and people orientation. I find the people orientation high. So the culture of caring, trust, continuous learning, which is in the DNA of the organization. So uh, whatever may be the difficulties, whatever may be the need for reducing cost, I have never seen any time the cutting on training or people development, etc. So it is a people-driven organization. Maybe it is there is no owners here, including the board of directors or the people who have
Yeah.
grown from the so it is 100% professionally managed organization. So that may be the reason that we are able to sustain and take this
Mm-hmm.
culture of people orientation
Right.
over the years. Although around 80, 85 years now, still we that is in the DNA of the organization.
No, this is a great example how certain things, when they become part of the cultural DNA,
Yeah,
generations may pass, but the
yeah,
culture doesn't change, and so it is handed over as a pattern to the next generation, and they
yeah,
sustain it.
yeah,
It's a beautiful example and great case study, sir.
yeah.
Now, just a very divergent kind of a question. Um, there are organizations which are financially successful, they also keep growing. And when we take a dip into that, not many boast of great HR practices. So they get people, they make them perform, and they do business and they do very well. But as a case study, if you want to really look back, there are no great people management processes and all of that. So that is where sometimes this question comes. So businesses can survive, they can be profitable, they can keep growing even without strong HR practice. Some people put these two kind of examples. You know, there are L&Ts of the world, and there are those other kind of companies which are also growing. So how do we see this as an HR leader?
Sir, I don't know whether in the past they were able to survive, but in the current and the future, unless your people orientation is there, it is very difficult to
Okay.
sustain the growth. So I strongly believe in that the three P's to be balanced, whether it is people, profit, or the planet. So today that is another area of focus. So definitely they can, if it is only task focus and if it is on profits, it may be short lived, it cannot continue for a further. And today, with the amount of the competition, the amount of the growth prospects available, unless you care for the people, unless there is an emotional bonding and there's a purpose and there's an attachment of the employees with the organization, it is very difficult for you to retain talent. And talent is going to be the differentiator today. Talent and technology is going to be the differentiator. Again, technology is based on talent. So only one and only thing which will differentiate an organization and a sustained growth will be the quality of the talent and the engagement of the talent and how you take care of the talent. So yes, profit may be important, but at the same time, how you look at the people, that will make the sustained growth. I'm very clear about it. No doubts
Right.
at all.
Right, right. So things can happen so long they are happening, but you can't guarantee any success, continued success with
Yes.
the changing environment and changing landscape of talent. So I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
touch of warning actually from
Talent as well as
the
the
leaders.
environment and the
Environment
environment.
as well. Environment as well. Yeah, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So now, sir, I think you being at the helm of affairs in terms of the people responsibility for the entire L&T group with the diverse businesses. I think many budding HR leaders will be very curious to learn from you that a CHRO sitting at that level in the organization, how do you actually figure out your priorities, where to focus on? Because looks like you are at the helm of affairs, you can pick up anything and then get busy about it, but you need to be very consciously prioritizing and picking up your focus areas. How does that happen? Your thought process of a CHRO at that level.
So that is again, it is the continuous interaction with the business.
Okay.
So when you continuously discuss with your CEOs and the IC heads of the different businesses, we understand that the priorities. And if the overall thing, when I look at today, the not only for L&T or for me, for every CHRO today, the first and foremost is the talent, getting the right talent. Okay.
Okay.
Um, First is getting the right talent for today as well as sustaining for the future. Okay. So the next will be the building a talent pipeline. So to first ensure that today you have the key positions filled with the right talent, then also ensure that there is a leadership pipeline available. And third area, it's also associated with this is continuous skilling and reskilling and multi-skilling of your people to raise the bar. That means a lot of things are changing in terms of technology, in terms of digitalization, in terms of analytics. So many things are happening. So the entire skill sets are changing. So how do you reskill them? That is the next priority. Is almost everything is same, but in a different buckets. Get the talent, read the pipeline, ensure that the skilling, reskilling, multi-skilling of this happens. This is the in the value chain is that again the succession planning part of it. So the talent is one big bucket. Another area which I feel today to be sustained is the productivity. How do you enhance the productivity of your employees? You cannot keep on adding people, adding talent in order to be cost effective, in order to be bringing technology, in order to digitalization. How do you increase the productivity? I've been seeing not only with L&T, many organizations, uh, the rate and growth which productivity is not growing. If you discount it for the inflation numbers, we are almost remaining same or going slightly tapering. So it has to go up with the amount of bringing in technology, digitalization, etc.
Right.
So the next focus area is how do I bring in the
Productivity.
increased productivity. The
Okay.
third bucket is the employee engagement uh, and retention. That includes the wellness, employee engagement at every touch point. All those areas comes into. So getting the talent, then talent development and succession planning, improving their productivity, and then for me the employee. These are the three broad
Sure.
buckets which we should focus on.
Hmm. No, this is an interesting combo. I mean, one is the talent piece we mentioned. Of course, L&T has some wonderful practices of building the talent pipeline. I mean, I know about your assessment centers and how you really keep choosing people, invest in them in terms of training, coaching, and so many initiatives. That's a talent piece. The other two that you mentioned, which is productivity and engagement. On one side, you are actually pushing people to perform better. On the other
Yeah.
side, you're caring for them. So it's a very
Yes.
nice striking
Yeah.
a balance, right, between these two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think HR should be very consciously balancing between these two,
Balancing this.
productivity
Yeah.
plus engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
How do you build a
Right.
trust and
So,
transparency is the most important aspect
right,
in the whole game.
right. And many leaders, when I talk to the business leaders or functional leaders, one of their frequently asked questions is these days most of those young talent are so nimble, they're so agile, they just keep moving, they just keep jumping. They want variety, they don't want boredom, they don't want hard work. When they are like that, why should we focus so much on their wellness and engagement and all of that? So this is one of the dilemmas that they keep facing. When they are so selfish, why should I be caring? I will also try to squeeze more work in the short period that they are with me. So what kind of advice we can give it to such business managers?
That will not. It's all interconnected. Your wholehearted contribution by as employee, that is his that is engagement level, goes up with an all-rounded approach. It's just by squeezing and making a payment that I don't think that will work out. Today it is we talk about the total compensation. It is not the monetary compensation in terms of wellness, in terms of engagement, in terms of learning opportunity, in terms of career growth. At least they want to know after 5 years where I am going to be there, after 10 years where I am going to be there. And they also wanted to know, if I have to be there after 5 years, what is that I have to do today, what type of skills and competencies I should acquire. So we should also provide, not only tell them what is required, we should also help them to acquire those skills and competencies to move up. In addition to this wellness, everything is taken, then it is the total area is taken care of. So if you are only focusing on to here and now, and then they don't see a future after 5 years, then they will necessarily look out and when to go into a different direction.
So I mean, this now hints me that most of the business managers or project managers or functional leaders, they also need to possess a lot of people management skills, understanding them, engaging with them, counseling them, career guidance, feedback. A lot of people skills. I think it's just not the functional skills. I think in the rapid pace of this talent and engagement and all of that, I think functional leaders cannot be just functional experts. I think they need to master the
It
people
it has
skills.
to, it has to be. It is not only not 50%. It is more than that. It is required. Today we are focusing on including a 270-degree feedback for all of the immediate superiors under 5 dimensions. One is the personal excellence, how they act as a uh, na- then the relationship excellence, how they deal with their subordinates, how they deal with their peers,
Right.
and all those things. And next, we talk about performance excellence. How do they fix their goals? How do they make it measurable? How do they give feedback and etc. in terms of performance? Next is the development excellence. How do I develop, not only uh, get work from them, how do I going to develop those people? Finally, the leadership excellence. So we are looking at the 5 dimensions of people management, that is personal excellence, relationship excellence, performance excellence, development excellence, and then leadership excellence. So
Okay.
and based on the growth path of the individual career path, certain parameters becomes more important. At the initial stage, it is personal excellence and relationship excellence. When you move little further as an immediate superior or a department head, in addition to this, it becomes your um, uh, performance excellence, uh, as well as the development excellence comes. When you're
Right.
at a senior level, all the 5 accounts. So accordingly, we have training interventions, assignments, etc., to give them
Okay.
feedback as well as to develop those people. So we give a lot of importance on people management. And
Fantastic.
today, at a very senior level, if one person has to lead out of the two, I think one is extremely good at a task and another is extremely good at people. And I think the people person will move up than the task.
Mhm,
Today's
mhm, mhm, mhm.
you
But
need
that's a
people. Yeah,
yeah, that's a beautiful insight. Anyone listening, I think, can learn that if you want to really grow in your responsibilities in the
yeah.
hierarchy, people skills and that excellence is going to be the differentiator. Yeah,
Differentiator. That will be
yeah,
the
absolutely.
differentiator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think functional expertise definitely is a threshold. I mean, you must have it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
what differentiates you is the people
People.
management skills.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
that's a beautiful insight, sir. Yeah. Now, one quick thing about these HR landscape. Lot of talk has been happening about how technology is going to revolutionize HR, uh, the recruitment process and the induction process and the HRIS and so many things. Do you see a very dramatic change shifts in the HR practices and to such an extent that some HR roles may turn extinct?
Yeah. Total, there will be a total change in the HR domain.
Okay.
Most of the thing will get automated because of your technology. Even now itself, the entire sourcing, shortlisting, stack ranking, performance conversation, everything has become automated, including learning. It has gone into digital learning.
Yes.
There's a online coach available which will help you to summarize, which you can ask questions. So it has moved. So the different, and many of the routine activities today has been moved to shared service centers, which is entire thing is getting automated, whether it is on onboarding, whether it is processing of claims, whether it is background verification, or whether including the release of offer letters today for most of the positions. Everything is moved. All my 23 companies have one shared service center which is handled there. So the differentiator will be the people connect, business HR partner. How do you engage with people? How do you help them to look at their career path? How do you engage them in terms of uh, their fixing of their targets, giving of feedback, one-on-one feedback. So it is more of the IPR as well as the emotional intelligence, and then people connect. That is where it will make the differentiator. All the routine, repeated tasks will just move away. So there are 80-20 principle. There are most of the HR people, 80% of the time are doing the repeated task.
Hmm.
In a day, if they look at 80 and 20% maybe this type of connect, moving to site, talking to people, looking at their helping them in pathing their career or giving a feedback. So now it will get reversed because this 80% will get automated. So you have to build those skills. Otherwise you'll become extinct in the setup.
So
That's
if
why I keep telling. That's why I keep telling. Today, if two things to be focused on by anybody, one is learning as a competency, one is learning agility, another is the digital mindset. This two is required because things are changing so fast. So keep on learning. So it's a treadmill. If you even if you stand, you'll be pushed back. You have to keep walking faster and faster to remain where you are. And the
right.
same with the digital mindset because things are changing at such a pace that you need not be an expert in technology, programming, etc. But at least the mindset has to come. Which are the things can be automated? What can be done by me? What can be looked after? And such thing has to come back.
So, can we say that people and business connect is going to be helping me to stay relevant, even when the technology invades the entire HR space? My extent of business connect and people connect, and my ability to learn faster will
Yeah.
only the tools that will help me to
Yes.
stay relevant. Otherwise,
Yes.
I'll be irrelevant maybe in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That is one, and always being aligned to the business means always put yourself in the shoes of CEO and think what he wants from HR. If you are start thinking like that, then it will be his pain. Maybe tomorrow, who will be the successor for this business?
Okay.
Tomorrow, if we are moving towards this technology, how I'm going to handle? How many people are going to retire now? Who are the successors? So, what is the talent pipeline? So, if you look at as a businessman or as a owner or as a CEO, and then you naturally will align all the priorities of HR into that.
No, that's a great insight, sir. You should understand the business pain points and you should become a solution provider.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the way you can stay relevant within
yes,
HR, not just running your regular routine processes. That
yes,
is going to be in danger.
yeah,
So I think that's a
yeah,
beautiful kind of point there,
yeah,
right? So now if I turn my attention towards the leader in you, so as a person, one personal observation and personal question is I see you, sir, very ready to share your learning and wisdom very openly. You're very ready. I mean, you don't have any reservations at all. But at the same time, I also notice that you're willing to learn and listen to ideas, even if it comes from very young professional. So on one side, you're saying I have wisdom I'm willing to share. On the other side, I'm also a learner. I can learn it from youngsters as well. How do you strike this delicate balance as a leader?
I don't know whether it's I try to balance, but I have come up from the grassroots. So
Okay.
I have not joined as a manager. Though I passed out of Madras School of Social Work and joined as a in last interview, I joined as a time office supervisor. Time office supervisor is
Okay.
typically at a project site looking after the total number of people that you have a time office punch in, punch out, and taking
Yes.
care of IR labor related work. So that was my initial couple of 2 3 years of then there was a union. So union is it was in Karwar atomic power project very near to the port. Whenever there's a port, there's a lot of unions are there, so
Right.
it cascaded into that. So I had to have a 12-3 settlement with them, two 12-3 settlement strike and other things. Being after the settlement, once it is done, that settlement copy goes to the regional office and head office telling that
Right.
there was a strike and it has been settled and this is the settlement. Some of them, the seniors who read the settlement, looking at the language and the way it was drafted, they asked who is the person who is there. That is how
Okay.
I got highlighted, and I from there moved to the next level, next level. So I have come up at different. I've been there. Then I was a cluster HR manager, then as a regional HR manager, then for a BU, then for a IC, then for a startup, then for international. So I have learned over the process, and when I and many people have helped me in this journey.
Okay.
So that gives another very gratitude to see that whatever we know, we should also help others to learn and grow. That is the background of that.
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah. Because I do notice that when someone comes with a new product or new initiative, new process, a new method of doing things, you have an ear for them and you
Yeah,
do entertain. In fact, you offer your advice and you wish them all
yeah,
good luck to scale
yeah,
up kind of things, right? So you're very willing to
yeah.
listen to any fresh ideas all the time. So you encourage it. So I was a little curious because after some time, I mean, the way I've seen some of the leaders is that once you arrive, you feel that you're in only a telling position, right? Because you have so much, so you should only be telling. You should not be listening. It may sound very simple, but many a time that seems to be a big difference between an exceptional leader and okay kind of a leader. I think the big thing is whether you
Well,
are able to
every
energize people and listen and entertain their ideas.
no, no, every day is a learning. Whether you believe or not, today you have sent that link. I just went through that link and then I exited. Then I started reading. It says it is available and it can be used by anybody. So immediately I went through this. So today after this program, I'll do a deep dive into this, the whole platform, what it is, how it can be used, how I can use it in different methods within and outside. So that is
Unbelievable.
the curiosity of knowing things and doing it. So every day is a learning. It is. You have to be
I
open.
think you just mentioned a beautiful word. I think the sense of curiosity, if you're
Yeah,
able to nurture
yeah,
whatever level that you grow as a leader,
yeah,
I think you will forever remain fresh and energized and learner, a great learner. And that's a takeaway, sir, for me.
yeah.
Fantastic. So the next interesting part about you again as a leader is I see you wearing so many hats. You're a speaker, you're a coach, you're an HR leader, um, you're a family person and you give time to the family. And how do you manage your time and stay cool? My most important question is that the last part. You can get overwhelmed, you can be very irritable, you can act as if you're extremely busy and I don't have time to people, and people can understand given the stature and the spread and all, but you maintain a lot of resilience, emotional resilience, the way I think you come across. How do you strike it, sir? My question is maybe two three fold. How do you allocate your time and how do you balance and maintain your emotional resilience as a leader?
Maybe the work expands to the available time. So if you plan it, you can do that. So quickly prioritize it. And as I said, if I take one job, go sit, focus, and close it off.
Hmm, hmm,
That is the thing, not prolonging the same thing. Get into that. In fact, today I came to office not just because this interaction is there. Otherwise, I would have stayed at home. As you know, I am doing my certification from Coaching Federation of India, CFI now.
Yeah.
So I have to submit the final thesis uh,
Okay.
project. So it's a voluminous work. People have been doing for the last 15 days, 1 month they are doing it. Whereas today, if I come, I will sit till 8 or 9, and tomorrow 1 day, 2 days, full focus. I will complete that, finish it off, hand it over. So
Mm,
that is how I focus on it. And most of
mm.
the time, I get up early at 4 o'clock, and more, I'd say 4 to 6:30 it will be the quiet time where many of my
Oh, is
things
it?
get done. That's
Okay. So you are a very early riser.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Oh,
It is
lovely,
it is whenever there's a work, automatically the alarm, uh, body alarm wakes up, and four
lovely. Okay.
o'clock I get up and can.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So on a personal level, since you are a very early riser and you have your time and space for yourself, etc., do you also invest in any of your physical health kind of a thing? Are
I,
you conscious of that?
when I go for a walk after 6:30, I go for a walk by 7:15 or 7:30. I back and then get ready
Okay,
to the office. That
okay,
is the
okay.
that
And
is
and, and you are quite regular
yes,
with
yes,
that regime.
yeah, yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I
Yeah.
think
Unless
this is
unless
another
I am
one.
on a tour, unless
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
on a tour and get disturbed.
Obviously, obviously. No, I think this is another piece. A lot of people, including me, we have no excuses to say, "Oh, I don't have time to walk. I don't have time to do any physical exercise." I don't think these are all very lame excuses. Including me, I keep giving myself. But listening to a very busy leader like you with so much of spread, and you still have the discipline of allocating that little time for yourself, for your reading, for your learning, and for your physical exercise. I think that is a piece that I think we should really get inspired from. Amazing, sir. One more thing, I don't know whether we call it as a little sanskar that we learn from our parents or teachers or whatever. Um, Personally, I notice you that you are extremely respectful in your communication with anyone. So how do you get that? How did you get that? How do you maintain that respectful communication?
Maybe it has been in practice right from beginning. So I don't think too much to do that.
No, it's
It
become
doesn't come.
part of your
Yeah,
value
yeah,
system, I guess. It's
yeah,
just the
yeah,
way you are.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you,
yeah,
yeah.
right, right, yes.
So even if you want to demand some work or expect some standards, it is so respectful. So
Yeah,
the person feels as a human, I'm respected. Now, as a leader, he can expect,
yeah,
something
yeah,
more. So
yeah.
I think that's beautiful thing that I noticed. So I thought I want to really learn. It's become so unconscious kind of a thing for you. So
Yes.
you're not even
No,
knowing
no.
where it has started, but it is possibly a
Yeah,
sanskar kind of thing. Excellent.
yeah,
Now, for many people who know you from the work front, from all your talks with the CII and various boards of studies that you are into, and you're helping so many people, they see you all as an HR champion, towering HR leader, and all that. But I also have seen the other facet of yours, which is your excellent skill of painting. In fact, I will be showing to our audience some of those paintings that you have got in your collection. But my curiosity is, where did you learn that? Is it a trained one or is it a natural skill that you got? Are you nurturing it now?
no, it is during the school days. Okay, some of the competitions will come and all those things. That was the time when I was in school. The 20-point program of was going on. So some competition used to come and we go for a painting competition, etc. And I got one or two prizes there. So that motivated keep doing. And
So it's
then
a
in
natural
between,
skill. You're not trained
naturally.
in that. It's
No,
a
no, no,
natural
no,
skill.
not trained. And then in between, some paintings I did, and there was a big gap. And during COVID time, again sitting at home, I did couple of paintings. So again, it is getting busy. So whenever I find time, yes, if you look at, I will have at least 2, 3 canvases and some all the paint brushes, everything will be available. So only thing you
Okay.
have to find time to do that.
Mm, mm. So are you pursuing that hobby, sir? Even
Once
today,
in a
whenever
while,
you
once in a
find
while.
time.
Yeah, whenever I
Okay.
find time, I may do it. But
Yeah.
if I take one, I have to complete it. So it will take at least one
Obviously.
Saturday, Sunday, it will be through. So
Okay.
if I
Okay.
feel everything comfortable and 2 days are available, then I may start that. Otherwise, I may not start. Yeah.
As an artist, when you are on with the brush and on the canvas, is it a very immersive kind of experience? I mean, you actually just get involved into that fully, and it gives you a lot of relaxation.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to get involved. Otherwise,
Okay.
yeah, the painting is on layers, right? It is
Yeah.
the so you have to visualize that and do that. What goes below and what comes up.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, that takes time.
No, no,
But
amazing,
I'm not
sir.
a very professional artist, so just I do some painting. That's it.
No, no,
Yeah,
absolutely. But when we see your paintings, it doesn't
yeah,
look very amateurish or anything. They are beautiful. They're beautiful, and I'll just actually have them included in our video. Where
yeah.
definitely for sure. But that's a great skill, sir. I think the
I keep
God's
learning.
gift,
I
God's
keep
gift.
also learning. Sometimes go to the YouTube, see some people painting how it is
Okay,
done. Then I'll
okay.
try the same thing once again and then get it done. Like
Beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I'm so glad we covered so many dimensions. You as an individual, you as an HR champion, you are as a leader. I think it's been fascinating to touch upon various aspects. But before we conclude, I have this little cheeky question. Have you got more than maybe 35 years plus kind of a work experience and
37, 37 years.
37 years of experience, such a vast rich kind of a career that you've got. Now I'm just thinking that if you were to rebuild your career from the scratch, so would you choose HR, or maybe you wish to have some other career track? I
Yeah.
mentioned this is a cheeky
So,
question.
again, that the same two things, either legal or back to HR, because
Okay,
very clear in my school itself, I didn't go for plus after 10th we have the 11th and 12th, that plus two we say. I went
right.
for commerce, economics, accountancy and advanced English. I didn't take maths or science. I
Okay,
came out of that. Once I
okay,
came out of that, then the options are different. So out of that I had one is inclination towards Madras School of Social because of the reputation and the institution, and another was a legal thing. To even today, if I look at either I'll move to legal or I'll get into
okay,
legal is
okay.
not as a as an corporate legal is more of a practicing advocate. That would
Practicing
be
advocate. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful, wonderful. Sir. Thank you so much. So once again, so grateful for sharing your time, sparing your time and sharing your thoughts. It's been a beautiful learning experience for me. I will be recording this and I will be listening to this to draw my own personal insights. And I'm sure I think so many people who will watch this, they can take those beautiful, very deep insights from your entire life and experiences. More than just the knowledge that we read, I think listening to a leader like you will actually help us gain those insights. And beautiful, I mean, usually I say that Google can give you information, but only leaders can give insights. So thank you very much for sharing those insights and sparing your time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raj, for this opportunity. In fact, I feel very nice reflecting upon the whole episode and speaking to you. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.